Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash, Barakatah. Double honors to the elders and the apostles and the righteous men of great millstone who teach us this truth and righteousness and sincerity and in brotherly love. And salutations to the hopeful elect, the 144,000 men of Yasharallah, and the one-third men, women, and children of Yasharallah. Shalom. This is your brother Shamya coming back at you one more time from the Great Millstone held in the Montana camp. We're going to jump right into this lesson, okay? And we always like to make a disclaimer. We are not a hate group, and we are not an extremist group. We are a truth group, and we only bring out the truth according to the Bible, according to the word of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, okay? Now, the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, had the Spirit jump on me to do this lesson because, you know, we are in these last days, and we know that we are going to have to um, basically, we know that we, all hell is about to break loose, and the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is getting his men ready. Lord willing, I'm part of that number, and the Lord is getting his men ready, and we know that there are going to be a lot of women that the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is going to be preserving and reserving for his elect men, which means that the elect man of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, the Lord is he's going to give his servants many, many women. Now we know it's gonna be scoffers, and but we didn't been there, we didn't done that. We ain't got time for that madness no more. We are at the end of this thing. Isaiah 4:1 is about to come to pass. Jacob's trouble is about to be full blown very soon. And the thing about it is, these women that the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is preserving for his men, his servants, those men are going to have to teach these women, okay? Because the thing about it is, with this society that we live in, and this era and generation that we live in, the majority of these women don't know how to be women. They don't know how to be wives, right? They don't know how to be a helpmeet to a man, to their the wife don't know how to be a helpmeet to her husband, and the people that and these individuals that are married, they just get married just because it's a thing to do, and it's like a feel good event. But do they really know? A lot of these women, they get married for the wrong reasons, right? And they get caught up in their emotions when all of a sudden they get bored, because what did they say that the uh, the divorce rate amongst the women is 70%. So the woman usually is the one that initiates the divorce. That's why the majority of the time men don't want to get married these days, right? Because they're getting sick and tired of the women are not feminine. They don't do the duties of a wife that they supposed to be doing, right? This is why the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai put it on my spirit to do this lesson, because what I did was, Akim, this is beautiful. The Lord had the Spirit jump on me to get this translation. Now, this is the Bible in the easy to read version, right? Of course, we always use the King James version, but we here at Great Millstone, through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai and the elders apostles of Great Millstone, the Lord set up. The elders apostles of Great Millstone taught us to go in also into these other translations, which when you go into these other different translations, a lot of them translations they are to the point and it's in plain English. Okay, King James version is the top one, but a lot of these other translations they go hard, and they, like I said, they just get straight to the point. King James version gets straight to the point, But just going into these other translations, it just makes it in plain English, right? So what I want to do is I'm going to title this lesson, A Wife of Noble Character. Because in these last days, when the Lord start bringing these women into our path, we're going to have to we as the faithful servants of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, the men of the Lord, we're going to have to teach these women, the women that the Lord is going to be preserving and reserving for us, for our future wives, because that's what the scripture said. It didn't say wife, it says wives. Matter of fact, I got to prove that. Let's go to Isaiah 4:1. Let's prove it, because this is what's going to happen. This is Isaiah 4:1. This is Isaiah 4:1, and it reads. Now I'm going to read this in the Isaiah 4:1. I'm going to read it in the King James Version. Then I'm going to read it also in the Modern Spelling Tyndale Coverdale Bible translation. This is Isaiah 4:1. It says, and in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. So that time is fastly coming. It's fastly approaching. This is Isaiah 4:1 in the Modern Spelling Tyndale Coverdale Bible translation. It says this. Then shall 7 wives, it didn't say wife, it said wives. Modern Spelling Tyndale Coverdale Bible translation. It says, then shall 7 wives take, and that number 7 is just it's just basically completion. It could be 7. The Lord can bless one of his men with 7 wives, 17 wives, 70 wives, right? It says, and in that day shall 7 wives take hold of one man and say, we will lay our meat and nothing together in common, only that we may be called thy wives, and that this shameful reproof may be taken from us. Because see, right now, these women, the majority of these women, they have the freedom to do whatever the hell they want, the freedom to travel, to gather abroad, to have multiple men, to ride the cock carousel, to be adulterous, to be independent, and when they have all these men, they feel liberated, they're rebellious. Nobody can tell them nothing to do. It's all out of order, right? Because we're in Esau's kingdom, right? But in the kingdom to come, the women of Israel are going to be in order, right? They're not in order right now, but they will be very soon. But I'm going to read this real quick in Proverbs, okay? I'm going to read this in Proverbs, the 31st chapter. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to read this. I want to read this in the ERV, okay? Let me read this in the ERV, Akim. Now, right here in Proverbs 31, in the ERV, it says the perfect wife. Okay, so this is for you new listeners too, and for the women, right? That are stand humble and listening and being quiet when you listening to these videos that we doing. Okay. This is what a perfect wife is. We're going to read it out the easy to read version translation of the scriptures. The title right here, Proverbs 31:10, the perfect wife. I'm going to read it. It says, how hard is it to find the perfect wife? In this kingdom, it's very hard. You know what I'm saying? It says she is worth far more than jewels. Her husband depends on her. Why does the husband depend on her? But we're going to read it. It says he will never be poor. She does good for her husband all her life. You see, they said all her life, not giving him a hard time, not yelling and screaming and being a damn demon, right? To where the point where he just had to leave the house to get away from his fucking demonic ass wife. What does it say right here? Proverbs 31:12. It says she does good for her husband all her life. She never causes him trouble. She is always gathering wood and flax and enjoys making things with her hands. The majority of these women don't make shit with their hands. They don't know. Majority of these women don't know how to cook. They don't know how to sew. They don't know how to bake. It says, verse 14, she is like a ship from a faraway place. She brings home food from everywhere. She wakes up early in the morning and cooks food for her family and gives the servants their share. She looks at the land and buys it. She uses the money she has earned and plants a vineyard. She didn't say nothing about her getting money and then traveling and buying all type of stupid ass shit. No. It says, verse 16, she looks at the land and buys it. She used the money she has earned and plants a vineyard. She works very hard. She is strong and able to do all her work. And it didn't say nothing about her being strong and independent. Is being strong as the woman as the woman is supposed to be, right? According to like her household, you know what I'm saying? According to her husband, you know, not strong and independent, but strong as in taking care of her family, taking care of her household, taking care of her husband, right? Providing. It says she works very hard. She is strong and able to do all her work. She works late into the night to make sure her business earn a profit. She makes her own thread and weaves her own clothes. Ooh. It says she always gives to the poor and helps those who need it. She does not worry about her family when it snows. She has given them all good warm clothes. She makes sheets and spreads for the beds, and she wears clothes of fine linen. Her husband is a respected member of the city council, where he meets with the other leaders. She makes clothes and belts and sells them to the merchants. She is a strong person, and people respect her. Why do they respect her? Because she's in order. They know that this woman takes care of her family. She takes care of her household. She takes care of her husband. She makes sure that, you know, if she sees somebody in need or poor, she makes sure she you know what I'm saying? She's on point with that, you know? So she's respected. It says she is a strong person and people respect her. She looks to the future with confidence. She speaks with wisdom. She don't speak with ignorance and stupidity. Whatever comes out of her mouth, the majority of these women that talk in these days that we live in, they speak nothing but foolishness and wickedness and stupidity. It says Proverbs 31:26. She speaks with wisdom. Okay? It says, and teaches others to be loving and kind. See, women these days, they hate each other. They know, you know what I'm saying? It says, and teaches others to be loving and kind. Verse 27, she oversees the care of her house. She is never lazy. These women of this generation, they are lazy. All they want to do is just, I'm strong and I'm independent and I got a bachelor degree and I'm traveling, I'm doing all this. I'm an influencer and I'm doing that and I'm doing this. Nah, man. Nah. It says, verse 27 says, she oversees the care of her house. She is never lazy. Verse 28, her children say good things about her. Her husband brags about her and says, there are many good women, but you are the best. Grace and beauty can fool you, but a woman who respects the Lord. The majority of these women, they don't care about the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai. They don't care about his servants that the Lord sent to them to tell them and to warn them, right? To come back to the Heavenly Father. They don't care about that. The majority of the women of Yasharallah, they're witches, they're atheists. They don't even believe in the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And then Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And then when you try to tell them about the scriptures, they'll say, no, I don't want to hear that. Because they're rebellious. It says, grace and beauty can fool you, but a woman who respects the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, should be praised. Give her the reward she deserves. Praise her in public for what she has done. Now let's get a precept real quick. Proverbs 31 and 10. Now in my King James Version Bible, in Proverbs 31 and 10, to Proverbs 31 and 10, right? It says, who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. Now, on the bottom of my page to Proverbs 31 and 10, in the clip notes, right? It tells me to go to Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 4. So let's go to Proverbs 12 and 4, see what it says. Proverbs 12 and 4, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. This is Proverbs 12 and 4. I got to put this up to the camera so all you women can see this. It says, a virtuous woman is a crown to her husband, but she that maketh ashamed is as rottenness in his bones. And see, that's why the majority of the time, the men these days, they don't want to get married. You still got simps out there that will bow down to a woman, get on a knee and say, will you marry me, get a damn ring and shit. You know what I'm saying? And then like a year or 2, 3 years later, they're divorced. Because see, this generation that we live in, women just want to get married because of it's a thrill. You know, you got the wedding gown, the white dress, and the cake, and all the people, and everybody wearing white and all or whatever, you know, white and whatever it is, you know, it's a white wedding and the balloons and flowers and all that bullshit. It's just for a look. And then when they get bored, it's like, I'm bored. And then they start talking all this bullshit, saying, well, and then, you know, the women get all caught up in all their emotions and shit. And then all of a sudden, like, I think I made a mistake. And you know, I think I have to do what's best for me. So this is why I do. You see, we see it all on social media all the time, TikTok and Instagram, where these women are just, what happens is they get emotional. And then they said, I thought that it would be good for me when I got married, but I feel like I'm missing something in my life and all that madness that they say. And then once they make a video, then a couple of months later, they start talking shit like, I regretted divorcing my husband and all that bullshit that these stupid ass women say. And these, like, we ain't saying all the women do that, but the majority of these women do that. Divorce their husband, and then all of a sudden they regret it because they were caught up in their emotions. But meanwhile, you know, they're through. You know? Yeah, but Akim, I just wanted to bring that lesson out real quick. But because, you know, when the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, start bringing these women into our path, and these are going to be our wives, and we're going to have to teach these women, you know, and show them the right way, the right path, you know. Okay, so let me go ahead and just end it. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash Barakatah. Double honors to the elders and apostles and the righteous men of Great Millstone who teach us this truth and righteousness and sincerity and in brotherly love. Let's stay strong, Akim. We almost out of here. Kwam Yasharala. Shalom.